for my running mate, Tinubu said at the event held in Abuja. Now, he's saying again, what you did during my primary APC presidential election is a story for another day. I've spent more time, too many times, and people might be bored. They might be envious too. They might be jealous. I won a landslide. I thank you. Femi, with all the things he said, will determine the factors that really contribute to your growth. Now, he says that it is about charting a path to success. You have done good job, and I say thank you and thank you again. That's Ahmed Tinubu speaking there. Now, joining me to do justice to these trending and serious issues that are affecting the nation's landscape is Dr. Ikiri Joe Abraham Esquire, a doctor of political science, a legal practitioner, a journalist, and a public affairs analyst today. Dr. Ikiri, good morning to you.
Very good morning to you.
Thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so there's been a back and forth, and off the camera you were trying to give me a rundown of when this issue all started. Now, the standard flag bearer of the APC, it's having some issues and will be dragged to court today. What do you really make of the statement made by Adamu Aliyu, saying that anyone who has an issue with the certificates of Bola Ahmed Tinubu can go to court?
Yes, I am surprised that this issue is also cropping up now. If you take a sober retrospective reflection, at least from 1999, when Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu won the governorship of Lagos State, he was confronted with this problem. First, they accused him of touting a fake certificate from University of Toronto. Happily enough, at that time, the House of Assembly, Lagos State House of Assembly, did a good job, set up a panel, and they probed all the issues. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu Asiwaju was cleared. Though it did not end there, I know that late legal luminary Gani Fawehimi, SAN, as he then was, took up the matter himself. Happily enough, all these issues were cleared, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu coasted home clearly and was able to rule Lagos State for 8 years. And since that time, he had never entered into public office. So everything seemed like he slept. Now that he has won...
But he was a senator, right? He was a senator?
Yes, during Babangida
period.
Yes.
Okay.
The front and back transition program that Babangida flanked that time. He was a senator. He dissolved them too. So now the issue are coming up again. I don't have any doubt that it will go the usual way.
What usual way do you think it will go?
Yes, the usual way is that it will be cleared. Because this pull me down syndrome in Nigerian politics will never help matters. At a time we were saying qualification had nothing to do. When it came to Obasanjo, people were saying Obasanjo was not a graduate. It's not a graduate. Obasanjo is not qualified. He didn't go this or that. But however, it was not constitutionally stated that you must be a professor and all that. So I believe strongly that the statement of Lawan, as stated here, is germane, because some people thrive on pull me down syndrome politics. They will be going to news media houses trying to emphasize the same thing. Instead of doing that, go to court. The court has the responsibility of clearing. Let Nigeria move forward, because emphasizing going around the same circle every time will not will not help Nigerian politics.
That's why the APP has actually dragged him to court, and we're supposed to be having that hearing today to find out if the court is going to really, what the court will say about the whole matter.
Yes, it's a suit now. They have just sued this in maybe the hearing, or ask the other party to file their papers and all that. So we may not, I don't know, we may not have anything like ruling today is exchange your papers and bring all your evidence, tender your exhibits and all that. That is for today. And the matter will continue. It goes on.
Well, in future, do you really see the court really, if all the evidences are really filed against him, do you think they will have a ruling to favor him, or it can be disqualified?
No, it will be prejudicial.
Okay.
To say so, because now that the case is in court, every other person is barred from making comment about it. Talk more of projecting the outcome of a court. It is not done. It's legally dangerous. So I will not comment, and no person what is sought in the legal arena will go on to comment on an issue that is before the court.
All right, taking away from this now,
yes.
What do you make of the issue of placeholdership, the placeholder issues that have been coming up? This is the first time somehow we're hearing it in our political scene.
Yes.
And being a placeholder, does it really prove a point that the party isn't actually ready for the elections in 2023?
It's all right. That is a new concept that is being introduced in Nigerian political or democratic lexicon. Placeholdership. To meet up time. Meanwhile, that is not the actual. It's new in our Nigerian. And of course, it could be that they may have misunderstood a sentence in the 2022 Electoral Act, which they think they have a leverage. Well, INEC has come up to say that such concept does not exist in their own dictionary, and went further to state the conditions in which a person whose name has already been submitted may be changed. And that, according to INEC, is when the person involved voluntarily renege or voluntarily withdraw from the position that he has been already allocated by the party and name submitted.
All right.
And it's not going to be easy, because that will come with an affidavit and a letter formally written by him that is no longer interested.
All right, let's take the statement of Farouk Lawan. And now the issue of running mate.
Yes.
He says that it's inconsequential whether there is a Muslim or a Christian running mate running with Ahmed Tinubu.
Yes.
So, what do you really make
yes,
of that?
You see,
should it be a Christian or a Muslim that should run with him?
You see, things are getting so bad in this country. These are issues that were not considered at all formally, and we are stable. At least, if you check the history of the various elections before independence and after independence, and this religion has never been an issue. At least emphasis had been on ability to perform. Emphasis had been the ability to perform, and we carried on this democratic culture up to the aborted democratic transition by Babangida, when MKO Abiola, a Muslim, ran with Babagana Kingibe, also a Muslim, and won landslide. That is the same country. I don't know why this issue should come. Well, I like to place on record the formula and advice of the majority leader, Senate leader of the APC, Orji Uzor Kalu, he said the party found themselves in a situation. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is coming from a Muslim minority south. Now that the emphasis of the party is to win election, now if he goes forth to the north to select a minority Christian, the party is on the edge. I don't know if you understand.
Okay, yes, so that's the reason why he's trying to go with
that
Muslim.
If they know that, yes, taking a Muslim majority from the north will give success to the party, it's okay. But Nigerians should know that religion had not been a very important thing to consider.
But our nation actually is very glaring.
Yes.
We are under the religious divide, and you cannot rule that out in Nigeria.
Well,
and most for the Christians and those for other religions, like the traditional religion, they feel marginalized.
Good.
If you don't have such a representative of that religion in the presidential villa.
So when the emphasis is on religion, Muslim, Christian, what happens to the traditional religion? Don't they have a stake? The issue should not be religion. What can we say that the present setup, the present structure of Buhari, a Muslim, and Professor, the Vice President,
Bajo.
Yes. What difference has that made, or is it making now in the life of Nigerians?
All right, we're here to get that. This is Open Conversation, and I've been speaking with Dr. Ikiri Abraham Joe, Esquire, and we've been talking along the matters of the standard flag bearer, Ahmed Bola Tinubu. Today we're going to be having a presentation in court and all the issues that will be raised today in court, and also matters surrounding his certificates. And did I go to primary school? Did I not go to primary school? I actually went to primary school. I went to secondary school, some have said. And why should this be done? And Senator Shehu Sani has also said that if you should look at when he was governor in Lagos State, he built primary schools, he built secondary schools, that if you cannot find the primary school you went to, look for the ones he built. Well, that was sarcastic, but we'll leave that matter. We'll see how this really unfolds in the political scene. We're moving over now to the next issue we have on ground, which is the 2023 presidency. Kwankwaso has more experience and will not be the running mate of Peter Obi. Jibrin is saying that. Now, a former member of the House of Representatives, Abdulmumin Jibrin, has ruled out speculations that Rabiu Kwankwaso will be a running mate to Peter Obi. Now, he said this during an interview on a national television on Sunday, which was yesterday, Politics and All the Times, that he really claimed that the new Nigeria's People's Party, NNPP presidential candidate, is in talks with Obi over a planned merger. He says, and I quote very clearly, Kwankwaso will not be the running mate to Peter Obi. By every standard, Kwankwaso should be the presidential candidate. The NNPP chieftain said during the show. Now, Kwankwaso has more political exposure and experience, says Jibril. He said that he has a bigger profile when it comes to the political exposure. He has more political, he has more experience politically on how to win the elections. At the end of the day, when you look at the equity contribution in terms of votes, it will be a ratio of about 70 to 30%. We are looking at bringing 70% of the contributions. Even if it is business, Peter B is experienced in business. He knows that whoever is bringing to a larger experience will actually have a percentage of equity, is expected to stay on board. He claimed that Kwankwaso is the only politician in the northern part of Nigeria that commands huge followership like President Muhammadu Buhari, stressing that aside from Obi, the NNPP is also looking at other options. He says, and I quote, "We are working on getting a presidential running mate," he said, calling on the Southeast region to back the NNPP. Jibrin believes the All Progressive Congress, APC, and People's Democratic Party have betrayed the Southeast region. For this, he argues that the Southeast should drum support for the NNPP. The Southeast has been seriously backstabbed by the APC, and they have been front-stabbed by the PDP. They have worked so much for the PDP. The PDP and APC has thrown away the Southeast. They have also said, "We do not need you," he says. Now, we'll move on to some other issues right now. But looking at this, Dr. Ikiri, what do you make of Jibrin's statement? Jibrin was formerly of the APC and was the campaign director of Ahmed Bola Tinubu before he actually defected to the NNPP, and see him speaking ills of the APC right now. What do you make of the issues raised first, that Kwankwaso will not be advised to a P2B?
Well, that is also a sign that nothing has changed for a long time in the political history of Nigeria. He has said nothing. One would have thought that saying that Kwankwaso is more experienced politically, he would have drummed up or listed his ideological leaning. He has not done so. You see, to be fair to him, Kwankwaso, Shekarau, Abubakarimi were all children of the great Kano politician, late Aminu Kano. The only edge Kwankwaso, or peculiar to him, he grew up as a Talakawa, the Almanjiri. He grew up from that lineage and leaned himself towards the welfare of people. When Aminu Kano died, Abubakarimi took over the helms of affairs of Kano, and he was so loved. Abubakarimi died. Now two persons emerged, Alhaji Kwankwaso and Alhaji Shekarau. You know, they have been alternating. If Kwankwaso wins this term, be ready to have a Shekarau
Next time.
Yes. And they've been swinging political parties. Kwankwaso had been a member of PDP, and he moved from PDP to APC. Shekarau too, when Kwankwaso moved to PDP, he moved to APC. And when Kwankwaso moved to APC, Shekarau came back to PDP. And you will find, you will recall that at a time, only a body language of any of them sparked very big violence in Kano. So if it is the way he is trying to measure the popularity and all that, it is wrong.
But he said that Kwankwaso has equal popularity as the current president. Do you believe so?
Well, that is an exaggeration. So many factors came to bear on the presidency of Buhari. And I'm sure that Kwankwaso has not gone to that level. For Buhari, he contested for more than about 3 or 4 times and failed. Now, Shekarau too has made several attempts, but he had not come to any limelight on that issue of presidency. Now, it is wrong to exaggerate that Kwankwaso is an equal to the president, current president of Nigeria, unpopularity in the North.
Okay, so take the weighing or the scale he's
Yes.
placed Kwankwaso and the P2B,
Yes.
saying that Kwankwaso would not be a vice to a P2B. Rather, a P2B should be the vice of the Kwankwaso. Well, what do you really make of
Well,
that?
and he,
to the indices he actually set up
yes,
or stated.
he did not even say, well, I would have been interested in the indices itself. Is it at economic level? Is it at political level? Is it at socio-cultural level? Is it the indices on mobility, ability to mobilize people? These are important issues. But for him, you know, the interest of the Nigerian politician is to garner power at all cost. So they can go on to say some things that does not provide a weighing balance on issues. Now, take for example, somebody speaking about Peter Obi, I think a current senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, billionaire, I've forgotten, said Peter Obi is good in business and all that, and so can be a good minister of the national economy, but not the presidency. Somebody said so. Now, Kwankwaso, with his Talakawas, he is the Sariki Talakawas, as he had called himself. He belonged to the downtrodden. With his mass followers, he can be a good mobilizer of that, the downtrodden. But for two of them to place themselves in the pedestal of presidency of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that needs some assignment for them.
So you mean most of the Kwankwaso does not, his popularity does not cut across the country?
It does not. It does not. You know, when you are known for one thing, but you are not known for another, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, when the election is won, goes beyond sectional or one-point achievement. You are president and a member of the international community. In fact, in international law, you become an international personality. So where will they borrow those? Where will they borrow those ones from? That is the issue. When you become president, you will no longer be called the Sarikin Talakawas, or you will no longer be called an economist at the local level. I don't know if you are catching what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but there's another issue I'd like to raise.
Yes.
And which is the statement made by Abdul Mumin Jibril.
Yes.
I think he's the current very huge supporter of the Kwankwaso now. He says the PDP and the APC have thrown away the Southeast. They have said to them, we don't need you, he said. And these are some of the issues he has said, saying that the PDP front-stabbed the Southeast.
Why?
And the APC backstabbed the Southeast.
Yes.
And he's given several matters really on ground today. First, what do you make of it? Is this really true?
Well, politics, in professional definition, means who gets what, where and when. That is the definition. Who gets what, where and when. It has many reactions had been placed on the table on the situation the Southeast found themselves when juxtaposed within the rubrics of the Nigerian polity. It is wrong for any person to say that the Southeast had been dumped. If any structure of government is set up, the Southeast will have all the representation other places also have. They will have representation in the Senate, the House of Reps. They will have ministers from that end. They will have appointments in other places. And as we speak, Southeasterners occupy very eminent places in all parts of Nigeria. If you go, places, when I was there, places you cannot find any other person. You will find the Southeasterner, either selling medicine store and all that. So they have, the thing is that at a time like this, people make make statement to hit up the policy. When that man, Aliyu, he did not just join the NNPP. He was a member of the other parties. Did he fight for the Southeast at that time? I mean, things should not be done at that level. I mean, he should be more brilliant to use other indices.
You feel it's just a way of wooing the Southeast to come to their side?
Yes. Make a statement, just a statement that will just hit up, so just to curry kind of sympathy from the Southeast, because he knows that if you speak like that, then the sympathy will say, oh, this is our man. It's not done.
It's another quote of him. It says that the last time the Southeast has been on the table to discuss the presidency of this country was Alex Ekweme's period. It is Nigeria's first elect vice president, who served from 1979 to 1983. The first opportunity they have now is the opportunity given to them now by with Kwankwaso. They have to think very clearly not to waste their votes. They should come and take up the running mate. This is the best opportunity for them. It says again, and I quote, the Southeast should think clearly and rally around Kwankwaso, Jibrin added. Now, another issue is this. Now, he's made this point. There is a Kwankwasoya movement, and there is an obedient movement. Which of this movement will be able to collapse their structure? Do you think these two structures will be able to collapse themselves into one?
First of all, let me make it very clear that a deep study of the two shows that they do not go pari passu. Ideologically, they are of different school of thought. Kwankwaso, who we can locate within the political spectrum to, yes, be a welfareist. Obi has been a capitalist all this while. And I begin to wonder whether he had even attended an interview to work in any of the labor configurations in the country overnight. And PDP, where he belonged, PDP is a stark capitalist and conservative
party.
Yes. Because he felt that he doesn't have the chance. He knew, I mean, he has openly said that money is the factor moving PDP, which he may not compete. And he ran away from there. Overnight, he joined the Labour Party. Is it done like that?
Both marriages will not work.
It wouldn't work. If it superficially worked now, it wouldn't last a year if any marriage ever occur between the two parties. It will collapse.
Okay, so but there's another swing to this matter.
Yes.
Now it's the APC trying to woo a Kwankwaso to come to their party and become a running mate. Now, that's the third issue we are discussing now. It says the All Progressive Congress on Sunday invited former Kano State Governor and the presidential flag bearer of the NNPP to come over to their angle and become the running mate in the party. And it's one that has really created a lot of buzz today. And it's saying that Peter B strives on social media frenzy. And that's another matter that really created a lot of buzz in the polity now. It says the state governor and the presidential flag bearer of the new Nigeria People's Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso, now to return to the ruling party that he helped to build. Speaking with journalists on Sunday in Abuja, Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the APC, Yakubu Montala Ajaka, now urged the NNPP presidential candidate to retrace his step before it is too late. This is even as the APC deputy spokesman mocked the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, and his obedient movement, which he said exists only on social media. That is why it's not too late for him to return to the APC. That's where he naturally belongs and has an assurance of becoming a president one day and not his current sectional NNPP. He says, and I quote, that's Yakubu, saying that although some people might be deceiving him by calling him Mr. President already, but just one or two states in the Northwest cannot make him a president. Kwankwaso needs a national party like APC to achieve his presidential ambition. So I plead to him to do the needful before it is too late, he says. Just like Kwankwaso, Peter Obi is only enjoying sectional sympathy, but a real presidential candidate needs to enjoy acceptability from all parties of the country. Now, Dr. Joe Abraham Ikiri, tell me, what do you make of this? The APC is trying to woo Kwankwaso to come back to the party he helped build. Do you think this may ever really work?
It's also an exaggeration to say that Kwankwaso built APC.
He said helped build the APC.
Even if he came to APC very late. You know, APC is a conglomeration of different political parties. He was not there when it was being formed. CNC, APP, and all that. No, they came and marched. That time, the man was enjoying in PDP. So what help did he? What did he help to build APC? He didn't. It was when he had finished his term and had problem with his deputy, now the present governor of Kano State, Dr. Ganduje. When Dr. Ganduje publicly told Nigerians that his former principal is wanting to control him and all the thing that is governing, that he refused, the problem started. So at which point then the man moved. When he moved, Shekaro, his arch enemy, also moved. Now, when PDP, you know, we had a new PDP at that time, he joined them. When there was problem in PDP, he joined and entered the APC. He was welcomed. So at what point did he build APC? Though I am not a member of APC, nor am I a member of any political party, but I'm a public affairs analyst who have been following these issues, and I cannot point at a time that he had made tremendous, yes. At that time, there's no denying the fact that when he was a member of APC, trying to also become, he may have contributed in one way or the other just to stave up of PDP. You know, when they all came in, a meeting in his house, the DSS then came and scattered them. In fact, the then Minister of Federal Capital Territory threatened to revoke his certificate of occupancy in his plot and his house at Abuja.
So, but do you see a Kwankwaso heeding to the wooing of the APC to come back to the APC and be the vice presidential candidate of Tinubu?
It is not possible. I don't see it work, because there are so many interests that has made it very impossible for them to name a vice presidential candidate.
Tinubu has said, I'm still in search of my
yes, he's searching candidate. Because of he's not, there are so many interests that refuse to give to the other, at least come to a common agreement
the points raised by Yakubu Ajaka, the
Yeah.
publicity secretary. Now, do you think they are still really valid, saying that Kwankwaso has a sectional leadership
Yes.
drive and is not national? And these are the reasons he should really come to the APC, saying that he will be able to achieve his dreams to become the president in the APC.
Well, he may be saying something. You know, political party. One of the functions of political party is to raise leadership, train leadership, counsel, guide them. But some politicians are restless. If they don't want, if they don't get what they want, they move, and yet they can't find it. So the advice is germane. What the advisor is telling is that he's telling to come, let us groom you and prepare you. In the nearest future, you will be able to get what you are looking for, but not this restless situation now, because he did not work this side. You know, he just moved to NMPP recently. He moved when he left APC. People thought he will come back to PDP, but before he found love in NMPP, New Nigerian People's Party. What is their ideology? No.
But it's gradually garnering support. You see him visit some governors. Even he came to Rivers State to visit the president of Chief Barrister Yeso Wike.
Yes, to ask for support and all that. Yes, and that is what we are talking about. It is too late for now to begin to gather those emergency support, because it will soon collapse. That is to say, if you get this support now and launch yourself, you become the president of Nigeria, it's not tight. It's an alloy that will break. It does not tight. It's not tight. So Nigerians will, I know Nigeria will not look into this hurry kind of things they are doing. That's the way I put it.
Another issue raised by Yakubu Ajaka, it says that, so we believe that the P2B should enjoy his social media frenzy for now, before the real campaign starts very soon, saying that what P2B has is just a social media frenzy, and it's not really on the grassroots.
But that is true now. It is.
How true is that?
It's true because for me, I have taken time to articulate the index of support for Obi, especially among the youths. And especially one that has been fronting, making noise about Obi, that is there without Obi nothing. A simple question: can you show me your voting card? I don't have. Don't worry. Don't worry. I don't have for now. You see, many of them don't have voting cards. It is, they hold this their phone. Somebody had made this statement today. Yes. Yeah, somebody has said this and that. But to go and get, and that time, you will find out that they will be the people to sink Obi, because they don't understand the ideology we are talking about. A capitalist yesterday in PDP, you jump and become a labor leader the next day. It does not work like that.
Why?
He does not even,
because he's not the party, the former party he belongs to, is not given the level playing ground and does not have the same ideology as he has. So he had to really defect.
Do you know what it means to be a leader of a Labour Party? Look at the history of Labour Party in Britain. Poland, Valensa, who became president. How many times was he detained or imprisoned in the course of Labour? This man has never even espoused any Labour ideology. And today, just yesterday, boom, to Labour.
But Valensa is of another country.
Yes.
And this is Nigeria. Do you expect him to still go through the same situation?
In fact, if you read or study the history of Labour movements, Labour parties in various countries, just a thin difference is almost the same, like that, and it comes with time.
He means he should go through the ropes first before he can
become.
decline.
You can just come and begin. You can't come from the blues today and begin to claim the leadership of Labour. In fact, if he wins, the next thing he will do is to leave Labour because it does not fit his way of life.
So you're saying that he may do something different from what he's talking about now when he gets into office?
Yes, it is like answering happiness as a name, but all the sorrows of this world is with you. In other words, you just want to use Labour as a blanket, as a signboard. At the back, you have another thing altogether, a capitalist who will do so many things that Labour Party has never been associated with. That's the way I see it. And people are not looking at it from that level.
Now, they said that now we need more technocrats to really mount office of government, and which will actually drive a change we want.
Yes.
Taking the president of Donald Trump of the U.S. also as an example. So, and they said P2P falls in that divide. What do you believe?
Nigerians exaggerate so much. They will exaggerate so much. Maybe somebody like, oh, this is another pope in Nigeria, when you know that there is nothing like that. Peter Obi, how, where can you place these two personalities? You see, Donald Trump does not hide his face to issues. Just like in the Russia-Ukrainian war, while the Democrats were still very cunning, they don't know what to do, he told them, America, please, don't go to war with Russia. Straight to the point. He told them during this gun thing, look, this is the position, this is what is going to happen, and it happened that way. So how can you place people, somebody like Peter Obi on that line? No, it is election time, and this is the time youth, women, men, adults should wait so that they will not fall into another mistake. They should not be carried away. They should not be like mercenary hirelings who are easily intoxicated by empty and meaningless words.
Well, the argument is still on. We'll see how things will unfold. If you're just joining us, this is Open Conversation, and we'll be speaking along the lines of issues being raised towards the issues of Peter B and the rest of the matters concerning Kwankwaso being moved to join the APC. But we'll see how that will unfold as we hope to bring you up to speed with issues happening along the political landscape today. We're moving over to the last matter we have on ground, which is 2023 elections, which we're actually counting down to. Labour Party will labour in vain, Soludo mocks P2B. Now, Anambra Governor Chukwuma Soludo has said those dreaming to win the 2023 general elections under new parties are jokers. He specifically said those who join the Labour Party, like its presidential candidate, P2B, would just labour in vain in 2023. The governor said a party without a councillor has nothing to offer. He spoke at the weekend with APGA members at the governor's lodge in Amawibia, Oka South local government area. He made reference to the recent defections from APGA to the Labour Party, adding that APGA remains the most formidable party in the state. Soludo says, and I quote, "It is sad that the people that left had to leave. Why would one leave a party he had labored to build? It is not good to labor in vain. However, they are not contesting elections. The election in Anambra is between APGA and other political parties. APGA remains the third in Nigeria as the country inches closer to the 2023 general elections. Elections are not done on WhatsApp or the internet. You have to go be on ground. APGA is on ground here and everywhere. How can a party that does not have a councillor want to compete with us? We are strong and we are growing stronger. stand a real chance in Abia, we will compete in all places vigorously. He says again, and I quote, we shall campaign when it starts, and by the time we enter January next year, we will know those that are still contesting. Our victory will be resounding this time, but we will not take anything for granted. Anambra people will see. Now, this is a matter raised by the current governor of Anambra State,
Yes.
Professor Soludo, now Charles Soludo. And somehow people have said that he's just saying this to really make people in Abga stay. And some people really left when Peter B left the PDP also and left the party, the Abga. Now, which will you really talk to us? The statement of Soludo being somehow a wooing political statement to keep the people or the members of Abga on ground to stay in that party, or you feel that some of the statement he's made has some atom of truth in it?
Yes, Soludo has trumped up some issues, but I am sure that it is not in that line of your thinking. After completing his 8-year term, Peter Obi left Abga for People's Democratic Party. So it is not like he left Abga for Labour Party. He is aware that Peter Obi left Abga, the glory that made him the governor of Anambra State, the glory that protected his right constitutionally from where he became the governor and came to the limelight. He went to PDP. All those people that woo him did not give him or actualize the interest or the promises they made to him that made him leave Abga to PDP. He became disenchanted, disappointed, and left overnight because his political interest could no longer be maintained in PDP. He left for Abga. Yes. In our national anthem, we have always been singing that let the labor of our heroes past not be in vain. Not be in vain. And somebody is saying that in vain people now are struggling as a party. It's ridiculous. Very, very. It's ridiculous because they are taking advantage of the lack of ideology in our political system. You just wake up today, the next day you are here. And when that place cannot even give you any, you find another place. It's not done.
So, do you feel that Professor Soludo is trying to really overrate Abga when he said that Abga is ancient third in the whole of Nigeria as a party?
Is it only a statement he made in 2015, for example? After APC, you have PDP, and what was the next party?
I don't know. There were several parties on ground.
Yes, so he may have had his data offhand. In Anambra State, they have always been winning. At least they used to come as the last bastion of the ideology of Emeka Ojukwu, Chief Odimego Ojukwu. At least they used to have this sympathy.
So with that, don't you think it's a regional party?
It is. It is. It has always been. Now, like what Kwankwaso is flaunting, NNPP. We used to have a Nigerian People's Party, NPP. Members like Nnamdi Azikiwe, because Nnamdi Azikiwe was the presidential, they said it is a regional party. Now, the Northerners have now borrowed that party and added one N, say to call it New Nigeria. And that is why it has also become a regional party there, because that is the only place it is boiling. Now, Abga is also a regional party. They don't deny that fact. The origin and foundation is there. Now, for somebody who have enjoyed membership of APGA to now go back to another party, and that party is not in another place, but just within that region, it has reduced the Labour Party into a regional party. Mind you, the former Ondo State governor became a governor from Labour Party. And because of the rift between in that party, the party divided. You have one called Labour Party, another one called Zenith Labour Party. Just to maintain the identity in that western part of Nigeria. Meanwhile, Wanyang, who is the national chairman of Zenith Labour Party, that we are pushed out of the Labour Party, is from the East. He has never gone to the East to campaign for Zenith Labour Party. And most of the persons in Zenith Labour Party are also itching that they should come back and be one.
So what's your point in when you drive into, you bring all these analogies?
Yes, what I'm driving to is, one, presently, as it is postured, Labour Party has missed its structure. The structure is that wherever there is, in fact, Nigeria Labour Congress, it is in that constitution of that party that membership of Nigeria Labour Congress is automatically a structure in the Labour Party.
So that means they have in 36 states?
Yes.
So is that not enough structure
but
for them to really gain power or upstage the current ruling party, party and the current opposition party?
No. For example, you have the problem in the Rivers State branch of the party. They edged out the state chairman of the party because he, according to the constitution of that party, that while still being a political representative of the party, you maintain your position as a labor leader. Now, some people within the party are saying that that is archaic. It should not go. It should not fly.
Positions.
Yes. No, that we, the labor, cannot automatically become members of a political party. So that has reduced the national spread of Labour Party as it was envisaged before.
But do you think that's right to really say that, that they're trying to really express their will to also be members of all the parties? You think they think they have a valid or a cogent point where they mention that they can't be automatically members of
yes,
Labour Party?
I told you that Labour parties all over the world have a close historical antecedent. People don't just come to form Labour Party. It is the historical experiences of Labour that made them come to the conclusion that it is good we now put our struggle under a political party, that if we win, those struggles of labor will now be the focus. And if it is achieved, then the society will be better for it.
So with the matter you've raised,
yes,
that some people also are members of the National Labour Congress,
yes,
saying that they should not be automatically members,
yes,
of that party being
yes,
formed by the Labour Congress.
Yes.
You think those people will act against them or become some saboteurs?
Of course, since it is written in their constitution, perhaps they have not raised the issue that, yes, I'm a civil servant, I'm a member of Nigeria Labour Congress, but I don't want to be a member of Labour Party. That issue has not been raised, but it has been used as instrument to destabilize anytime election period comes like this. Those minority few will always raise the issue, look, I don't want to be a member of Labour, but I want to be a member of NLC, through which plank my interests and the interests of others are fought.
So now, another matter Soludo has raised is the matter by some parties, apart from the two major parties we have in Nigeria,
Yes.
which is the APC
Yes.
and the PDP.
Yes.
The other parties, or he calls them, some people in quote call it mushroom parties,
Yes.
that those people cannot really have what it takes or do not have what it takes to really struggle at power from the ruling parties and the major opposition parties in Nigeria. What do you think?
Yes, the thing is that that is a misconception of the formation of party. It may surprise you to know that of all countries, there is what we call a socialist. There is what we call a socialist party in the United States of America. They've existed for long. They are contented with the local government, the county in which they find themselves. They have always been winning election in that area. They don't gone for national outlook. They don't attempt to contest for governorship of a state. They don't attempt to contest for presidential. No, they are contented with that. Therefore, Nigeria can borrow a leaf from such this that. It should not always be the wish to be the president of Nigeria or governor. That small corner that needs attention. If you form there, if you win election, you change it.
All right, thank you. If you're not joining us, I've been speaking with Dr. Ikiri Abraham Joe Esquire, doctor also political science and also legal practitioner. He's also a journalist and a political and public affairs analyst. Dr. Ikiri, thank you so much for being part of today's program.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're calling it a wrap on today's edition of Open Conversation. If you're just joining us, I'm afraid you may have to go to our social media handles to continue this discussion and see the things we've actually said so far. On YouTube and on Instagram, it's Atlantic Television Network. On Twitter, it's at Atlantic TV Net. On Instagram, it's at Atlantic TV Network. Remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. I remain Namdi Uzuku. Thank you for staying with us all through. Join us tomorrow for another edition of Open Conversation. God bless you.
But I remain committed to the United Kingdom leaving.
Since I became Prime Minister, I've said we must get on and get Brexit done on October the 31st.